hopefully no one noticed the slight edit that is going to happen. That has happened. We're talking in the future now. No, we're talking in the past.
We're
in the past, predicting the future.
We're breaking the continuity of the podcast by talking about a section that was in the past.
You're right.
Even though it was supposed to be in the now.
This is bad.
The future is now. No, the future is now.
The future is now for us, but the future
is now.
Now.
Now is the future. The future is now.
But 5 seconds from now is going to be 5 seconds for them in the past.
Future.
But that's 5 seconds for them in the past. Whoever's listening right now.
Also, humans perceive time like 1 seconds into the past. So every time you said the future is now, it's already the past.
Damn.
And the present was then.
Now imagine if our life had
the present was then.
Imagine if our life had a 30-second delay like most Twitch streams. Anyways,
would that mean that like you'd fall? And like, you fall to your death. Would you be waiting to find out if you died or not? That must be agony. Waiting for 30 seconds to find out if you actually died or not.
Oh my god! Or the pain, like if you like fall off a skateboard and you don't feel like, oh, does it hurt? Oh, it hurts! Oh, fuck!
What if you're skating and then you feel pain, and then 30 seconds later you fall down and eat shit real hard?
That's an interesting movie.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You can feel pain in the past or in the present. That's interesting.
From
feel
the future.
Pain in the future, and then eat shit in the present because
like,
of the future.
Imagine a premise where like a cop feels himself being stabbed in the back, and he's just like he needs to find out in that amount of time who is gonna do it.
Damn, that's awesome.
He's stuck in a room with his best friends.
Ooh.
Damn,
that's a movie.
That's a good premise.
We better cut this out. Write the script,
and then it turns out that the real killer was a man that was living in between the walls of his house for a whole year.
You see, that's fucking weird.
And there were like small peepholes everywhere, and he never noticed.
I think I saw a music video like that once.
That's based off of something.
Right.
That's happened to people before.
I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
There's a cunning homeless man just living in your house.
That's fucking weird.
It's like that Japanese lady who lived in that dude's cupboard.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
Yep.
It is. But you know what? You know what else is? Never mind. I'm bad at transitions again. No. I'm Todd. This is the order. Do this again. Because I fucked up. I'm already fucking it all up right now. Anyways, that's Capello to my right.
Hello.
Once again, to my right, despite me moving stuff around again. Yeah, you're still to my right.
Still, yeah.
And
this is how it will forever be.
Right, forever. Forever. Even when this house is gone, and
we'll just be floating here when this house is gone.
And the cyborgs took over.
And there's 3 skeletons just floating in place.
Right.
That'd be I don't know why I'm posing. It's not like if the people listening can see us.
The robots.
Marcos, you can't see this, Marcos. You can't see this, Marcos.
The robots are gonna continually ask, "How are these skeletons defying physics?"
Right. And their whole purpose on Earth is to figure that out. And that's Ben to my left.
Hello.
Hi, Ben. So this week, there wasn't a lot going on. I think the stories that I picked or that we kind of talked about prior were things that happened literally at the end of the week. Yeah, most of it. I'm just going to say in passing right now, I was going to do it at the end, but let's do it now, that EA
and Yves Guillemot president.
Is not, he is now in charge of EA. No. EA and BioWare have confirmed that Mass Effect Andromeda has gone gold. Therefore, it is not being delayed, like I've said a million times.
Gold means everything has been finished and they're like more than ready to ship out.
No, gold means that it's already it's about to hit manufacturing.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting to me because I think I mentioned to you guys previously also that the first 3 were delayed a couple times, and it just I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was going to hit its March date. You know, but I guess that's cool. It's so weird though because I'm not hyped about it.
Are you gonna Mass Effect?
I probably am, but I'm just not hyped, which is weird because I like Mass Effect.
I saw some people saying that there had been like some multiplayer gameplay, or
I haven't seen it
about it. It was a quick short thing.
Right.
And apparently it looks like Mass Effect.
Yeah. I remember some of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, but I played it very briefly. I wasn't really into it. Because I only played Mass Effect 3's campaign once, and I was burned out. I was burned out because I had played like the previous 2 like 7 or 8 times each. So I was burned out on that. But yeah, so we'll see that next month. I'll probably pick it up. The other stories this week, and I think I'll probably start backwards. which I also mentioned really quickly, is that Irrational Games.
Ass first into danger.
Ass first into
Ass
danger.
first into
Is that going to be the subtitle for today's episode? Maybe.
Yeah, man, you
Could
can
be.
ass
First.
Yeah,
That'd be weird.
Ass first into the past.
Ass first. Oh God, that's good. Ass first into the past. This is like an '80s movie starring. What's that guy's name?
Sounds like
Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
Sounds like a shit tier porno.
Ass first into the past.
No pun intended.
That or a horrible ripoff of Back to the Future.
Okay, but like the what do you call it? Like the porn parody.
It's the porn
porn
parody.
parody.
Back to the Future.
Yeah. Okay, now that you're talking about that, isn't there? I saw it on Kotaku. Somebody did a Metal Gear porno.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe that.
No.
Well,
It's like legit.
Yeah, but they were talking about it because the actress who played Quiet in that porno, like her outfit was like super spot on.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think also the person who played Snake.
I
I haven't actually seen this one, so
Like, to appeal to the nerd audience, they were going for hyper accurate
yeah,
cosplay.
apparently.
think it was Kotaku. No.
That's interesting.
No, Jim Sterling reviewed it. That's where I saw it. Jim Sterling reviewed it.
Sterling reviewed
Obviously,
porn.
it's a YouTube video, so it's just a lot of the vanilla, right, stuff. And he was like, I think like halfway through the review, he was like, someone who did this really likes the Metal Gear Solid, because he was like, he was like comparing the accuracy of like you said, the costumes and stuff of Quiet and Snake and stuff. And how did we get here? Oh, we were talking
Ass
about
first into the past.
Ass into the past.
Talking about porn parodies.
That's funny. Just real quick, I'm curious if you guys know, are there any other? No, there is.
There's horrible ones all over the place.
I don't want to know all of them, but I remember when I was playing Left 4 Dead religiously a couple years ago, my friend Kristen, she was like, "Hey, there's a Left 4 Dead porno."
I did not know about that.
Yes.
I know there's like there's the always the classic Star Wars horrible porn.
I can imagine
there's
there's like a million of those made.
There's like there's
Spock,
like
where's Spock from?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Watch out.
There's Batman ones. There's that god awful Pokemon one.
Oh Jesus.
That's hilarious.
So the Left 4 Dead one, we should probably, let's just say this for leftovers. Let's say it for leftovers, because I have a story to tell you about that. So Irrational Games,
Stay tuned for the leftovers where we talk about horrible porn parodies for about an hour.
No, we're not going to talk about it for that long. So Irrational Games, the prestigious, I would say, is that biased for me to say that?
They're fairly. They have a lot of like AAA. Accolades.
Yeah,
so.
and they got the one and only Ken Levine. I think a lot of people by now know it's kind of old news that they had not been shut down, but they have kind of been shuttered. A lot of the talent had left after they finished Burial at Sea stuff for BioShock Infinite. And it's been known that Ken Levine select a couple of people to stay and probably hired some more people to move on with smaller projects. I think that's what we talked about maybe a year or two ago. So now they've revealed this week that they changed their name. It is now called Ghost Story Games.
Ghost Story.
Yeah, and the mission statement from the website, I'm going to just read an excerpt from it. Our mission is simple: to create immersive, story-driven games for people who love games that ask something of them. And I think that's maybe something they've already done in the past with BioShock. I would argue so. I'm really curious to see how this turns out, because Ken Levine has mentioned before that he wants to make shorter, smaller experiences. I think he wants to be like the dude that wants to do indie stuff with a AAA budget, which I think is really cool. But yeah, so that's kind of it with that in terms of that news.
We'll see how that works out, because Ubisoft kind of goes into that foray, and they have a lot of hit and miss, like AAA indie stuff.
It's interesting though. But yeah, like you said, Ubisoft kind of went down that road a little bit here and there with what was it? Child of Light, and what's the other one? The World War I game, Valiant Hearts.
Valiant Hearts.
Yeah, or Valiant Heart. But I'm going to be very curious to see how that turns out. And it's really interesting because Ken Levine's working on so much stuff. He's doing Logan's Run, the movie, and he's working on some Twilight Zone stuff, which is fascinating. We talked about this months ago. Yes.
I wonder if it's going to be like a VR Twilight Zone game.
I think he was...
he's working on episodes of Twilight Zone,
yeah, like literal episodes.
Yeah.
So...
Is it still running?
No,
no. It's going to be
basically revamping. I think there was a movie, right? There's a couple of Twilight Zone movies.
Shit, I don't know.
And the last one was like 1980 something, maybe. I could be wrong.
I don't remember any Twilight Zone movies.
I know one of them starred Bill Shatner.
Yeah.
Early in his career,
Yeah,
super early.
But that wasn't a movie, though. That
was an
just
episode?
Yeah, that was just in an episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Twilight Zone is a blurry gray blob in my head. From
There's something
late night
on the wing.
sci-fi.
Something.
Oh, so
That was
good.
a Yeti, wasn't it?
That's a gremlin.
I need to
Jumping up.
I need to find that stuff on. Someone has to have it online somewhere. I gotta watch that stuff
I'm
again.
sure. I
So-
think it's actually on Netflix.
I'll probably look that up later tonight. Moving on, the next bit is interesting for people that like Halo. So, if you recall, was it last year at this point or 2 years ago now? 2 years ago now, when Halo 5 released, kind of anticipated by a lot of people. You know, it was the first Halo on the next-gen consoles, right? Officially, at least. So there was a bit of a backlash, a huge backlash, actually, from people, from fans, longtime fans, because Halo 5 Guardians did not have split-screen multiplayer, which has always been a staple of the Halo franchise. I've played all of them in split-screen, even after Xbox Live became a big thing. That it was still something I did with my cousins and stuff like that. And then they took it away for reasons about performance and stuff that probably does make sense for probably makes sense. And people that don't understand game development, I'm not saying I do particularly, probably would say that's bullshit. But they've come out and said that they're going to return, or like all future Halo games will have
Split screen.
Is that split screen online or split screen story?
probably both. Oh no, split screen campaigns.
Okay.
So you can play them online with friends, but you can also play them
I
on the
imagine
couch.
like split screen multiplayer also.
I think that's still a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, where you and three guests can like log into your Xbox and you all
That was a
play.
spooky earthquake.
It was yes, it was. The cyborgs are coming for us.
But like couch co-op split screen was
Yes,
that?
couch co-op split screen in particular.
was what had been removed.
That's what had been removed, yeah. And that was a big pain for a lot of people. I remember this one story I read a couple years ago on Kotaku of this guy, this dad who wrote to 343 or to Microsoft that he had played all of the games with his son growing up. And I think that his son was going off to college or something, or right before he went up to college, that was when Halo 5 came out.
And he wanted to have a last send off.
And there was no way for them to play it, and they didn't have money to buy it on their Xbox. And that's kind of, obviously that's a very, that's like a one-off thing.
Incident.
But still, I would imagine there's a lot of people that have similar situations, and it's really shitty. So,
Especially when because I believe I played Combat Evolved alone.
right.
And then 2 and 3, I played split screen. Like, I played the co-op split screen with different people. And that's just super fun. You
Yeah.
know, it was a great experience, especially, I believe it was I think it was 3 that I played with my friend Sam over, I think I might have told the story, over at his older brother's place, and they had a giant TV, and we were doing we were doing the campaign together on that giant TV, and it was like really cool, you know.
Yeah. There is some magic to it, and it's part of the culture of the FPS, at least on console, right? So I would imagine that it was clearly a decision not just made because there was a community outcry, because I'm pretty sure Halo 5's sales were affected by it directly.
Likely.
Yeah, because Halo 5 didn't sell particularly amazing that month, if I recall.
Isn't it also the one that everyone was complaining about because the story was the actual story mode wasn't as great?
Yeah.
They were expecting more from it?
There were a lot of
something
gaps.
along that
I think people were like, there's a lot of gaps in like the narrative, and two, that for people that are not like, that don't follow a lot of the Halo lore, characters would show up out of nowhere that were in, the transmedia stuff like books and and novels and stuff, and they're like, who's this? I don't know who this is, right? Even I think a lot of people were like, who's Buck? And I was like, did you not play ODST?
yeah.
Like that is a game. There was a lot of flack for that game in general, also because you didn't play Master Chief for a good portion of it. You played Locke.
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 And
The
Locke
Spartan
is
Hunter or something like that? He was supposed to be the Spartan Hunter, or
He was hunting him down,
Hunting
Yeah.
and that
Chief,
was like
yeah.
the thing of the game. Like, oh, these two Spartans are gonna fight, and I actually don't even know what happens in the games. I haven't played it.
I
and
think
the
the thing
commercials-
was that it was so, like, there was a flaccid end where, like, they're gonna fight,
Yeah.
stay tuned in the next installment.
No, it wasn't.
They did fight.
They did fight,
Okay.
but it was
Then
like
I'm-
it was completely one-sided because Chief is Chief, you know. Like,
Yeah.
and the entire the commercials made you feel like there were going to be two separate campaigns, right? It's like one where you play as Locke,
Yeah.
one where you play as Chief. But what you got instead was first you play
short.
Chief, then you play Locke. First you play Chief, then you play Locke. And Locke's side of the story was significantly more boring than Chief's side of the
Right,
story.
yeah.
It would have been cool if there was like, you know, this is the campaign from Chief's perspective.
Yeah.
This is
And
the
now you
campaign
played
from Locke's perspective.
That would've been
That would have been cool, but they didn't do that.
They're
Instead,
two separate stories that at one point.
yeah, basically, but instead, like they shoehorned both of them in, and you play like one chapter you play one, and the other chapter you play another. What ends up happening is you feel like you played two half campaigns instead of one
Yeah.
full
Crazy.
cohesive campaign.
I think some people mentioned to me that it seemed like the idea was there where there were going to be separate campaigns, but maybe it just didn't happen because of timing or something. But if I'm not mistaken, there's like 15 missions in the entire game. You only play Forest Chief, so that's that. And I would imagine each mission is maybe an hour, right? But that aside, you know, co-op, split screen co-op has always been an important factor. And I know that, you know, nowadays it's so hard to even recommend people, like when people ask me like, hey, what's a good couch co-op game? It's like, on current gen consoles, you have nothing. Literally nothing.
Nikes.
Like, you have more choices on the Xbox than you do PlayStation. Because you have the Master Chief Collection. But that's old, those are old games, right? And Borderlands, and half of the people that I say Borderlands are like, eh. And it's like, well, I mean, you asked me. That's a good co-op game. And it's kind of dying out. Right.
A lot of the couch co-op games that are coming out right now are really like party games.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Gang Beasts,
or Overcooked and stuff like that, and which are great games, but unfortunately, a lot of the audience is not looking for that.
You see, I wouldn't actually classify those as couch co-op. I'd classify them as party games.
Okay, yeah, I think there's an argument there to be made about classification, but they can be both.
Like, yeah, they can be both, but like I feel like that it's going the way of an extinct genre.
It is, and a lot of people would say it's kind of like a victory to have 343 and Microsoft say, "Hey, we're still going to do this," but I don't think it's going to stick around for long in the genre or in the industry for a very long time.
There's the what was it? The new installment of Isaac.
Binding of Isaac
yeah.
has a co-op mode.
Afterbirth has co-op on it. Yeah.
And there was Bullet King, or I forgot what the game was called. Enter the Gungeon. I'm
Enter
sorry.
Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah.
Bullet King. What the fuck was that?
I have no idea. I think a Bullet Witch, that really, really bad game.
That's an old.
That's
that
an old
was like
game.
Fresh
2007.
360.
Right, yeah. Early years.
They actually played it.
I think I might have played a demo of that. I don't remember.
Is that like a We Want to Be Bayonetta game?
It was
Before Bayonetta. Yeah, before. Really bad.
It was a lady
terrible.
with a giant fucking cannon, and like she learned spells that augment her cannon. Where, like,
Did she wear a cowboy hat, or am I thinking of something else?
no cowboy.
No,
hat.
she was a witch.
She was literally a
Yeah,
witch, and she fought like the forces of hell, and they're just skeleton people.
I'd play that drunk.
Sure.
Why not?
Like there was one thing that I liked, and that was like you earned sniper mode, and like your gun, your gun is literally a cannon. You're just sniping with a cannon, and it's not entering sniper mode. They just let you zoom in real good because you have a fucking cannon, and cannons are just about the biggest snipers you can have.
I kind of want to look up gameplay on this later now. I'm just so curious now.
You'll find like at most 480p quality.
We'll see.
Horrible.
Well, we'll see after recording.
blurry images.
I'm gonna look it up
I
after
know
recording.
because I remembered the title of this game. I was like, wow, am I remembering this wrong, or was this like that? And then I looked it up and was like, oh boy,
I mean, that was when
this is blocks. So there are blocks there. That's a block over there.
I'm trying to remember. I'm
343
like bits and
Halo.
but no, bits and pieces of that game are coming back to me. Bullet Witch. Okay, but we'll probably just talk about that later. So I'm very curious. So Halo 6 will probably have campaign
Bullet Witch
co-op.
confirmed on Halo 6.
Halo 6 confirmed, which we'll probably see at E3 in a couple months. E3 is so close, Capello.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It's right around the corner.
Quite literally.
Like what? A month away? 2 months?
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months
Not
ish.
that bad.
No, but still, it's a lot closer than it was a couple months ago. And I think the last story, at least that I have here, that I'm going to mention, is kind of a follow-up, once again, to about 2 weeks ago now, if I'm not mistaken. All the thing with the GameStop Circle of Life, Kotaku article written by Jason Schreier with a lot of feedback from people who had previously worked for GameStop, confirmed most of his sources.
Cracking up the juicy coconut that
is Circle of Life.
Circle of Life.
Full of water. The Circle of Life has a lot of water in it. It's coconut water.
It's that rejuvenating water.
It's not.
Rehydrates.
Fuck no, it's not.
Well, it rejuvenates GameStop. It wasn't meant for you.
Oh no, of course not. It was meant for the big dogs up in wherever the fuck they're from.
In their separated house mansions in Kokomo.
In Kokomo.
Yeah. I don't even know if Kokomo is a real place.
I don't think it's a real place.
Kokomo is a real place.
But where is it?
It's island vacation in the Caribbean, I want to say.
Sounds about right. That sounds about right.
It's like a tropical
Is there a GameStop
place.
in Kokomo?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, no. So starting this week, or depending on whenever you're hearing it, the week of the 26th, according to managers, and I'm reading directly from the Kotaku article now, according to managers who spoke with Kotaku, GameStop will no longer monitor individual employee Circle of Life scores. Now, if you remember what we talked about a couple weeks ago, or if you read the article, there is a Circle of Life
Constant fear of
score.
being fired because
Your score sucks. It wasn't even about an overall score. It was about individual scores, so they can pinpoint the quote-unquote problem. The bad apple, and then they can weed them out.
So are they saying they're going to do that, and then they're just going to keep doing that?
Well, I'm not too sure.
Like
I'm not sure, but according to this, each GameStop store will now simply have a single Circle of Life number for the entire store, which will help reduce pressure on individual employees to hit their quotas. GameStop is also changing the way they calculate Circle of Life scores, according to managers who have spoken to Kotaku in the week past. Until now, a COL score has been based on 4 metrics: pre-owned sales, right? Trade-ins, pre-orders, which is the one thing that people are really pissed about, and reward cards, which is something also people get tired of hearing about all the time. Now, GameStop is adding a 5th metric, new sales, which will track each store's sales numbers against their goals. And new sales were kind of a thing that brought all the other scores down. If we recall, it's like, oh, I just sold a new console. That should be good. Like, no, it just means you have to sell more pre-owned shit to make up for the sale. Mm-hmm. So this, in theory, will prevent employees from being punished for selling new games as they had been in the past. So these changes aren't official yet, but GameStop district managers informed some stores via conference calls this past Friday. And they'll be rolling out the new program technically today, the 26th. And apparently a lot of stores don't know this yet, and they probably will by the time this is out anyways. This has to be a direct move because of the article and because of the backlash of it, I would say.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm like, why else would they change this now?
According to our inside sources,
right.
They were mulling over like the new sales thing for a while, or the new sales metric. I imagine they sort of like, okay, well now we have to do this because of the flack that they've been getting from the Circle of Life stuff. So I imagine like the negative press probably didn't solidify anything, but it probably just moved the hand.
Played a role.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I think the press started turning the ball, and then people who are customers that read these things, that share it with their friends, they're the ones who really got the things moving, because they're the ones who ultimately are the source of income for GameStop. So they don't want to piss these people off. But this is the thing. I think this is maybe a minor victory. I think that overall it doesn't mean that they're going to change their ways.
No.
I think the shady business is going to continue regardless. And I think this is something we'll probably be talking about every couple months, I'm sure.
Probably. I mean, I think last year, like, GameStop was mostly quiet about pretty much everything.
A lot of controversy was, like, not there last year.
Yeah, it's, but it was, I do recall a lot of articles about, like, the new acquisition of ThinkGeek and their move to a more figure and
nerd
apparels oriented stores.
They're replacing the
and stuff
Spencers
like that.
of today.
This is just really like basically the culmination of all the bad shit that they've done in the past.
Yeah,
so
it finally caught up with them in a significant way, I think.
And it moved their hand enough to realize, we're gonna lose a lot of money if we don't change something. So
I think that they're gonna lose the money regardless. It's digital sales, and I think people are, that one bad impression is enough to keep them away, and I guarantee you there's a lot of people that have solidified their points. Like, I'm not going to shop at GameStop anymore.
Yeah.
Again, just like with everything else today, I'm going to be curious as to see how this turns out in a couple months, and hopefully Kotaku keeps reporting on this, because it is interesting seeing updates on it every couple of weeks to see if people are still reacting, to see if people still care, and it's obvious that people still do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, GameStop in hot water. That circle of life shit right there.
It's just another marker in their slow decline.
Yeah. Well, I would say slow decline's turning into a medium-paced one now. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
It will tell. Hi, Ben. I've been saying it this whole time.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe that's it for the order. Did anyone have anything to add? Anything to say about any of these items?
I can potentially get excited for the new Shadow of Mordor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shadow of War.
Shadow of War, which could have been more creative.
It was leaked this morning by Target, probably accidentally, along with a potential release date of August 22nd.
I think because that studio has been really quiet, that it's probably going to happen. And we'll see it at E3 unless more leaks come out in the week to come. Then they'll probably say, hey, okay, we need to announce it now.
I imagine that's an E3 reveal.
Yeah.
Like a full E3 reveal.
And
especially if it's coming out in August.
It would need to be soon.
Yeah.
E3 makes sense. I'm excited for that. I don't know anything about it, but I mean, Ben and I have talked about it multiple times. Like, the Nemesis system needs to make its return
that
because
system is
it's
solid.
incredible.
Cool.
The fighting mechanics in that game.
It needs to be
solid.
expanded.
Absolutely needs to be expanded upon. Obviously, we were talking about, hey, maybe it's probably not going to be in Mordor again, which is great because I'm ready to get away from that gloomy
Dead
death
volcano,
everything.
death camp.
Yeah, it got really boring really fast from that perspective. But an August 22nd date, that sounds about right to me. Right before all the big stuff, because while the first game did really well, it won Game of the Year for a couple of publications, I don't think it can compete against a fall lineup of a Halo or a Call of Duty or an Assassin's Creed. I don't think it can compete at that level, unfortunately.
I think it has its own audience.
It does, but I think August is a good release date ahead of all the
it's
stuff.
It's ahead of the holiday.
Exactly.
The holiday mess that happens after, basically, from
August
October.
28th-ish.
Yeah. So, like, from October to
December. Early December.
Yeah.
So that's super, super cool.
Good.
I'm probably going to play the living shit out of that when it comes out.
I'd kind of want to see a trailer.
Yeah.
To find out where it's taking place.
Right. Hopefully it's not in their dead area of the world. August 22nd. Hopefully. Maybe. Rumored. Target, thank you for the leak. But that cover looks like it's ready to go. Like, that was not a placeholder. That looked like a legit cover of a game that's going to be released soon. But in the meantime, while we wait for Shadow of War, God, I'm not going to get used to that name.
You want to keep saying
Shadow of Mordor. It just sounds so much cooler, Ben.
Shadow
it's
of
true.
Mordor 2, the Shadow of War.
No. Too much shadow. Too much shadow. Too much shade.
The Shade of War.
The Shade of War. That sounds better. Shadow's used a lot. I think Shade of War sounds cool.
The Shade
It's probably
seems
taken
less
by
menacing
something.
to me than a Shadow.
Yeah, but Talion is a menacing figure.
Well, exactly.
To the Oryx.
So you want Shadow.
So the interesting thing about that cover, just to mention real quick, is that those
Grimlock's still
orcs...
in there.
Well, yeah, but
Right?
those orcs look like they were aiding him. Like they were going forward with him.
I got some Overlord vibes.
Well,
maybe.
I mean,
Could be.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
I don't want Overlord in my Shadow of Mordor.
Okay. Maybe
Why
not
not though.
I don't know. Overlord was a good game, but I feel
for
like
what it is.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
like it
main
doesn't have to be
character.
like Overlord. It
minor
could just
aspects
it could
of it.
just be like, well, now you're one of the big bosses. You have a band of orcs that help you.
I mean, you
like
you
mind
do.
control.
You
Well,
do that.
You do that. With, like the first one's what's his name? Ratbag.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of dictate what he does. And you
Yeah,
can do
but
with
that
some other
wasn't like imagine if you have a band of orcs following you.
Yeah, they're like
know.
under mind control or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Or even just like you beat them. Like,
Well,
sure.
You
know.
get you mind control commander, and then the orcs under him will always do what he
Obey.
says.
Yeah.
And so now you have a small. That's how it happens in
In
the first
Shadow Mortar. Yeah. Well, we will speculate on that in the future. Hopefully, we'll see a legit trailer soon. I'd imagine they want to get in front of this.
I want to
leak.
see someone who like gets half of the Nemesis system to follow him, and he procs them all to one location, and the game freezes because they're just
too much AI on the
hordes
screen.
of AIs just moving
God.
slowly.
No, it's okay. It's, Bethesda already did that with Fallout. They just ruined their game right there. There's a million fucking death claws in one scene. It just crashes your computer. Rockets you out of your ceiling, go into space.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting. We're done for today for the order, I believe. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
I want to stop this with my phone.
Want the computer to freeze? Stop with this phone. Not use that shit.
Just immediately crashes.